who is search director at Mediacom.
Great. Hi, I'm Catherine Janka. I work at Mediacom, and I'm here to talk to you today about how you can rock Q4 revenue by taming your feed and testing PLAs today. Before we start, a bit about me. My background is in psychology, computer science, economics. I have over 5 years of experience on the agency side, working with Dell as my client, both B2B and B2C, and I love feeds automation and testing, which makes PLAs the coolest product for me to work on. I love it. So, we'll go into 3 topics specifically today. So first, a little bit more into feed setup and initial requirements. ABT, which is always be testing, it's the same we have at Mediacom. And some further food for thought, so things that may go outside your scope as a search engine marketer and may require other groups to help out. So, how many people work in e-commerce? Show of hands. Perfect. And how many people already have feeds set up? Great. So for those that do, hopefully I can share something new with you today. And for those that don't, I'll break it down into 3 easy steps. So 1, get a feed. You get this from your inventory management system, which is basically an export of your daily inventory check. If you work in e-commerce, someone somewhere in your company has this, so you just need to find it and get it. After that, format to the Google Merchant Center requirements. It's just the headings that you put on this data, and you can get it from the Google AdWords help section. After that, upload to the Google Merchant Center. Pretty easy. But as Ethan mentioned earlier, you're going to have a lot of gaps in your feed. You're going to have things that aren't clear. You're going to need to double check it to make sure that you filled in all the attributes and all the fields that need to be filled in and populated in order to make your PLAs eligible to serve. So make sure you populate all of these before you upload to the Merchant Center. There's 2 ways to do this after you get this feed. One is in-house. You can do it yourself. You can write macros. You can also do it manually, depending on your time and the breadth of your feed. Otherwise, you can tap a partner to help. So here's a few that can help out. Just make sure that you explore, vet, and RFP each of these before choosing who works, because they all have their benefits depending on the scope, breadth, and size of your feed. Lastly, you need to assess the feed yourself and refresh it daily. So you want to make sure that you download your feed daily from the Merchant Center and scrub for errors, parsing issues, and in data integrity. So automation solves a lot of our problems, but there still needs to be a human touch involved to make sure that there's no grammar issues or other integrity issues. You also want to make sure that you refresh your feed daily to prevent clicks on products out of stock. So on a quick search for teddy bear, I click through, and sorry, Cuddleworks, I'm not buying and you're not rocking it. That product is out of stock, and now Cuddleworks has wasted money on clicks that aren't converting. And I'm unhappy because I can't get the product I want. So that's a brief summary over some initial requirements needed to set up the feed. I'll be at the happy hour tonight. We can talk a little bit more over some Washington State wine. Otherwise, we'll get into the bulk of the presentation, which is always be testing. So if we take a look at this PLA for Mariano Rivera jersey, only the best Yankee closer of all time, we can think about our PLA in 3 sections and test 3 things. 1 is our advertiser name. In this case, it's onthefield.com, presumably. 2, the image that comes with your PLA, and 3, the title. We'll talk about a few examples here. So the first thing is to make sure that your advertiser name fits your PLA. And from what I've seen, 16 characters seems to be the requirement prior to getting truncated. So on a search for black dresses, all these advertisers are rocking it. I can easily read and see who these advertisers are and what they're selling. But on a search for water bottles, these advertisers are not rocking it. I can't see who they are. There's no brand association here. Furthermore, when I expand the PLA, I still still can't read them. This is a poor user experience. But for Oriental Trading Company, I can. So search is about trust. And if somebody can't read who you are, they're not going to click on your ad and they're not going to buy your product. So if you can, truncate your title, or excuse me, your advertiser name to be able to be readable on the SERP. If it's too long, or if your brand is too long, at least make it readable when you mouse over your ad unit. Second test you can do is with images. So make sure you choose an image that's relevant and targeted to your product listing ad. And a few examples here from Dell, my client. Image in the feed for our XPS10, which is a tablet. This looks a lot like a laptop to me, but instead it's actually a tablet on a docking station. When we change the image to an image of a tablet, actually focusing on Win 8, which was what we were pushing at the time, our click-through rates increased and we're rocking it. We're ready. Similarly, the image for XPS 127, which is an all-in-one PC, is also ambiguous. Am I getting two monitors? What is this product? When we change the image to be much clearer, again, click-through rate increase and we're rocking it. We're ready for Q4. Our products are easily identifiable and understandable as what you're getting. You can also use PLAs to raise your brand affinity. So I want to search for UGG boots. All of these look pretty much the same, a couple colors, a couple different textures, but why not drop in your brand logo if you can? Raise some affinity and some trust in your image. Now you're rocking it and you're ready for Q4. You can also create images that differentiate your product, so and raise emotion of customers. We work in advertising, which is a very emotional field. People are connected and invested in the products that they buy and use in their everyday life. So, in a search for Big Bird plush, all of these look the same to me. I don't know, maybe some people have other opinions, but they're not rocking it. I don't know which one to buy and I don't know which one to click on. These are all the same. JCPenney, on the other hand, uses a great job having a picture of a girl holding a dolphin. They're showing the size of how big the product is and a happy girl. So raise emotion of your customers. Show them exactly what they're getting. And differentiate yourself on the SERP. Speaking of differentiation, you can also draw attention to your product listing ad. So I think this is a really interesting example, a search for Dell battery here on Google. And this advertiser actually uploaded an image with a red border around it to the Google Merchant Center. I think this is black hat. I don't condone this in any way, but and I think Google will eventually disapprove this, but it just goes to show you people are doing some strange things. In the meantime, why not show a picture of someone putting a battery in a Dell laptop, show the product in application or in use. Differentiate yourself from the sea of competitors where all the product looks the same. You'll be rocking it and you're ready for Q4. The third test you can do is with your title. So your title should be coherent and match AdWords policies, but you do have room to test and be a little bit creative. So originally, when we were looking at modifying our feed on a search for Alienware laptop, it's difficult to read this title. It's truncated, it has a ... But when we updated the title to be completely readable at first glance on the SERP, we saw click-through rates increase, conversion rates as well, so we're rocking it. We're ready for Q4. But in the meantime, what we did find was campaign performance shifted a little bit and changed. As we started to look into search query reports, we found that title seems to be the most important thing in terms of ad serving to have your PLAs serve for different queries. So when we moved different terms out of our title, for example, laptop, computer, so on and so forth, gaming, we weren't serving in the auction anymore. So on a search for laptop, Dell isn't present. So make sure that you're careful as you optimize titles, and you have proper analytics in place to understand what the impact is of every test. And I know Mike is going to go into it a little bit after me. So in a nutshell, these guys are rocking it. Nespresso here, you can clearly and easily read who they are and what they're selling. Adidas, the same thing, actually showing two different views of the product that they're selling, and you can easily read the advertiser and the title, so you know what the product is. These guys are rocking it, they're ready for Q4. So, some further food for thought. Further things that you can test that may be outside your scope as a search engine marketer and may require other teams' attention or help to implement. Description is one of them, so this is within your feed as well, but what we found is through some various testing on description, it doesn't have a big factor into eligibility for PLAs to be served, but it should be considered, especially within Google Shopping. So I did a search for bed pillows, and these guys aren't rocking it. They don't even have the word pillows in their description, so how could they even be serving for this product? These guys, on the other hand, they talk about memory foam pillow, traditional pillow, they have a few features, they're ready for Q4, and they're going to be serving on the queries that they want. Similarly, with landing page, you want to make sure that your landing page has all the configs, shipping information, reviews, images that you can. I mean, this is no different than regular paid search. But in a search for cello cases, these guys are not rocking it. Their landing page is so empty, I'm able to overlay my text on top. There's no information on shipping, there's nothing in the product description. It's very difficult and blank to read what the product is or get more information. Full Compass, on the other side, has a nice description, features, talks about price, on sale, free shipping, call now for another offer. They're ready for Q4 and they're going to rock it. So make sure your landing page has all the information that your customer needs to convert. You can also rock it with promotional text. So why not use third-party awards in your promotional text? Newegg uses Computer Shopper Choice Award. So if you have additional awards or things that you've won, why not try that in your PLAs? Because free shipping is a little bit boring and the usual. I think everybody has it at this point. So think about something outside of the box and different. Coupons and discounts are another one. So on a search for Kate Spade Wallet, you can use coupon code, SAVE15 is what they use. This will also help drive fractional attribution if you have a last-click revenue model in place. So if someone sees your coupon but doesn't convert on your PLA, converts through another channel, you can tie that revenue back to PLAs. You can also reinforce your organic listing or your brand message. So for Tom Shoes, Nordstrom.com uses one pair sold equals one pair given to a child. So drive that message that's really important to you and your brand home. And Katie will talk actually a little bit about some testing and different experiences that she's had with promotional text, specifically with REI in a little bit. So, in summary, and on time, having a feed is better than no feed, but you will need to scrub and assess and enhance it to be ready for Q4. It's going to require a lot of work, but you have to do it, otherwise you're going to have garbage in, garbage out. 2, always be tested, ABC. Test everything you can to impact your PLA on the SERP. So we talked about 3 things today, that your advertiser name, title, and your images. Make your PLA trustable and readable. And then 3, test descriptions, landing pages, promotional text, and anything else you can. If you don't have the resources, build a case to get them, because this is very important, and if you don't do it, your competitors are. So good luck rocking it in Q4.